If you think you're from a small, sleepy town, odds are my next guest can find something there to write home about.
In Acton, I'm Matt Shearer. In Ashland, I picked a bad day to visit Chelmsford. Welcome to Peabody. From the Auto Mile, I'm Matt Shearer. In Clinton, I'm Matt Shearer. Tewksbury is a town with a market basket, a Papa Gino's, a market basket next to a Papa Gino's. Funny thing happened in Stoneham. In Brockton, I'm Matt Shearer.
For the WBZ TikTok account, Matt Shearer takes up followers' challenges to find something, anything cool about their hometowns. And clearly he succeeds. His videos have also helped WBZ's TikTok account win a National Murrow Award this year for excellence in innovation. And perhaps his greatest achievement, correcting this tragic wrong.
I recently reported on the 99 being without potato skins for nearly a year and the outrage that ensued. But today's visit was different. Yes! We made our voices heard, and corporate America listened.
Oh, I miss that smell.
They're back, right?
Yeah. Yes, dude, finally.
Matt joins me now. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Tori. I really think being here right now is my greatest achievement.
This is the peak.
The potato skins and then like GBH with Tori
you're
Bedford.
welcome.
This is
you're
awesome.
Welcome. That's it. Thanks for being here. Goodbye.
Of course. I mean, it would have been a slight step up if it were Jim Browdy here, but I mean, I'll take you. I'm sorry.
Jim Browdy just started growing a beard, and I texted him, "Are you retiring?" And he responded with just the word laughing. So I guess not. We'll see.
It's not a retirement. It's more of a David Letterman situation where like it's a whole new era of Jim Browdy, you know, with the beard.
David Letterman did that because he retired.
Well, that's true. But no, but then he went right back to work. That doesn't count.
I want to talk about your TikTok.
Yes, please.
So you started doing this like 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. And how did that start?
Yeah, so the radio station was looking for new ways to appeal to people, or actually I should say reach people who otherwise have never pressed the AM button on their radio. And where do they hang out? TikTok. And so they wanted me to find a way to get the station TikTok up and running. And I said, well, we're already telling fun short stories on the air. Let's just kind of adapt that to the social media platform by adding video. And it was tricky at first. I had to find a way to hold both a microphone and my cell phone at the same time. I'm not used to doing two hands at once. But once I sort of figured that out, things started taking off. People really took to my storytelling style, which I guess is unconventional, sort of a blend of traditional news storytelling with the modern news storytelling that people get on social media.
The way that you just described it makes it sound like anyone could do it. But you have this way where you find people. Like in your life, have you found that you are kind of a character magnet? Because you find some really interesting people, and then you go back and reconnect with them. And
Sure. Well, I guess my clique in high school was the weirdos, and I consider myself one of them. And so, yeah, I like to surround myself by people. I don't want to say weirdos because that sounds insulting.
I was going to say weirdo magnet, but it felt rude.
Interesting. Yeah. Thank you. No, I don't mind calling myself that. I'll leave that up to other people to call themselves weirdos. But people who think different, people who are different, people who will say something into a microphone that I would never expect. There's a lot of phoniness on social media. We all know it. We all see it. And I don't want to be phony. I just want to be as real as possible. And you say anybody can do this, but I have this way. I mean, I think authenticity is the biggest thing on social media because people will see right through you if you're just not authentic.
What do you get out of it? It seems like a really fun job. You just go out and talk to strangers, which is terrifying for so many people. But you're going out, and we talked about your series where you cover people's small towns and towns in Massachusetts. And when you go out, you don't have any research, right? You're just going in completely blind and meeting like the most interesting, crazy people and telling their stories in a way that isn't exploited, right? You're not saying like, look at these crazy people, but you're showing us, you're taking us somewhere.
I often end up making friends with them and keeping in touch with them. You know, you're right. I don't want to be exploitative at all in this endeavor. And you're right that there's no real research in there. Some people get all chirpy in the comments like, why didn't you visit the place where somebody once sewed a patch into a flag? And it's like, well, because that's really not relevant to what I'm doing here. The point is to show up and find something cool. And 9 times out of 10, that something is a person or people, you know, because that's really what makes these small towns great. When people say, come visit my hometown, you'll never find something cool. what they don't realize is that it's the sense of community people have living in a place like that. I grew up in Acton, Massachusetts. I know what it's like to grow up in a small town here, even though Acton, I guess, is kind of
big.
middle. Yeah,
There's not that many
it's
people.
Mid.
They're spread out.
Right.
Yeah.
But I know what it's like to have that sense of community where it's like, it's not Boston, it's not Worcester, it's not Lowell. So it's, I like finding those groups of people and sharing their stories, because otherwise their stories just would never be heard.
What's interesting to me about this, too, is that you kind of started it during the COVID pandemic, and it really is about, we were all experiencing so much isolation, and what you're doing is just getting out and talking to people.
Yeah.
I think there's a bigger kind of cultural message to be taken from that about just talking to people.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I think during the pandemic we all realized how much we missed that, and I am the kind of person who loves talking to people, sometimes to a fault. You should ask my wife about that. But I love talking to people. I could get a conversation going about anything, and it also makes editing these videos difficult to go listen back to all these conversations and try not to cringe at myself. But it's a fun challenge, and like I said, I really just like being among the people and hearing what they have to say.
What was your favorite one to do so far?
Oh, that's a great question. My favorite town specifically, or just story in general?
I guess any TikTok.
Yeah, I mean, well, if we're talking in terms of my exploring these small towns, I loved being in Norwood and getting shown around by this amazing dude named Pete, who drove this rundown old van called Scooby-Doo. And he just had a way with the town. He knew the town like anybody. He grew up there. He was driving me around, pointing out all these places, telling me these stories that you would never hear on the news, but were just amazing, hilarious stories from his own life. And he was a quirky character too, who just really loves the people that he lives with. He offers free rides to people in town in his van, again called Scooby-Doo, just because he has nothing going on. He's retired and wants to help. I love that.
And yes, there's so many to choose from if people want to check them out on TikTok. It's the WBZ News Radio TikTok.
Correct.
Yes. We have some incredibly brilliant producers here who've put together a quiz for you about Massachusetts. And so we have some questions. So here's your first question. Play the Jeopardy music. What was the Fig Newton cookie named for? A, Sir Isaac Newton. B, the town of Newton, or C, newts, which are ground up in the filling?
Well, that would make sense that they would grind up newts, because it is a witch who makes these Fig Newtons. That's the only way they could possibly be so delicious. The problem with your question is you call it the town of Newton. I'm pretty sure it's a city. I'm pretty sure they have a mayor.
Yeah.
So, but I believe that that's the answer, Newton, Massachusetts.
I'm just like Anchorman, just reading off the thing. And you're correct.
Yes!
Yeah. What town had the first zip code in America? Agawam, Quincy, Taunton, or Fall River?
Oh my gosh, how would I know this? I don't know. I'm trying to think. Who has the zip code of 00001?
It's actually 01001.
What? Oh,
After Puerto Rico received the first ever.
Okay, so it's binary code. Let's go Agawam.
Yeah.
Yeah?
You're correct again.
Yes!
Yeah, you know Massachusetts. That was a tough
yeah.
one. Who is the official state cat of Massachusetts? A, Persian, B, Tabby, C, Siamese, or our producer's cat, Ginny?
Oh, it has to be Ginny. There's no way it could be any other cat.
Yes, the official cat of Massachusetts is Jen's cat, Ginny.
Yeah, I've seen Ginny on Instagram all over. Yeah.
Ginny is a tabby, and Tabby is the official cat.
You
won again!
I aced this test.
All right.
This is fun.
What town is home to a house made of paper? A, Rockport, B, Medford,
okay,
C, Walpole, D, Amherst.
Oh my gosh. Can I phone a friend? Hey, I have a friend who lives in Medford and knows everything about it.
We don't have time for that.
Okay, Medford.
Nope, it's Rockport. Isn't that funny? Because rock beats
rock, paper, scissors.
Raps.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was playing rock, paper, scissors with my daughter on her way to preschool yesterday, and she said uncuttable paper. So she just won the game. Yeah. It was a whole new category. So
I'm going to have to think about that for a while.
Right.
Lastly, who is the most famous person from Acton? A, Steve Carell. B, Howie Carr, C, Taylor Jenkins Reid, or D, Matt Shearer?
So, okay, Taylor Jenkins Reid's younger brother is one of my best friends.
A name dropper.
He would probably, my friend Jake would probably love it if I shouted them out. It's definitely me, though.
Yeah,
obviously.
It's you.
Yes.
Congrats.
Let's go.
You did it.
I did it.
Awesome.
Take that, Steve Carell.
What are you working on right now, real quick?
I'm working on a bunch of amazing stories. I went to the North End, and there's this great Instagram account called North End Stuck Trucks, where they just document all the trucks that get stuck trying to navigate those narrow streets. So I rented a U-Haul and tried to find my way around town, and got stuck in so many horrible, horrible ways.
Nice.
Lots of people honking.
I can't
was
wait
not
to
fun.
watch it.
People didn't like it, but I hope that people will like watching it.
We can't wait to watch. Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for being here, Matt Shearer. Thanks for
Thanks,
joining
Tori.
us.
This was fun.